Hey there, mathematicians! So it is week 8, day 3, and we are looking at our math block. You should have done your 2 rounds of extra math. Did you do it? Did you? Did you? Huh? Did you? Did you? Did you? Well, if the answer is no, stop right now. Pause this video and do it. Get it done! All right. That's me being grumpy for today. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our math video. We have a short little project here. Let's go ahead and turn to the back of your packet. Homework and remembering pages here, and then we're going to go to solve fraction problems. So today we're going to be working on word problems. And I know historically word problems have been kind of a bit of a challenge for some people. And so today we're going to see if we can make that a little bit easier for y'all. And the first thing it says to do is to solve the problem. So it says to draw diagrams or number lines if you need to. Okay, so the shelves of Roger's bookcase are 7/8 yard long. Latanya's bookcase has shelves that are 5/8 of a yard long. Whose bookcase has longer shelves? How do you know? Well, if we're going to compare 7/8 and 5/8. So just to look at them, we want to know which one's longer. So it's just like comparing them. So if I said 7/8 is what to 5/8? Well, let's just take a look at that really quick. Notice how they're both measured into eighths. So when the denominators are the same, remember we talked about just comparing. So just compare like a whole number. Is 7 larger than 5, right? So 7 is greater than. So 7/8 is greater than 5/8. So which bookcase has longer shelves? It's the 7/8 one, which is Roger's. So we would say Roger's bookcase has longer shelves because 7/8 is greater than 5/8. Yeah, that's right. 7/8 is greater than 5/8. Now, if I wanted to draw a diagram with it, I could do that too. I could just go, remember our fraction bars that we did? For eighths, remember we did half, and then we did half of half. That's fourths. And then each one of these fourths we divided in halves too to give us eighths. Now, if I want to compare them, I have to make sure that these two boxes, this box and this box, are exactly the same size and that everything lines up here. And then I can shade them in. So 7/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I shade all that in. So that would be 7/8 for Roger. And then Latanya is 5/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can even visually, you can see right away. See how this shaded bar at the top is longer than the bottom one. Yeah, cool. All right, so let's look at our next one. Rosa buys 3/4 of a pound of cheddar cheese. Lucy buys 3/8 of a pound of goat cheese. Who buys more cheese? Well, so now on this one, if you notice, we have 3/4 for Rosa. I'm gonna put an R above it for Rosa. And then Lucy buys 3/8. So remember, when we're comparing these two types of fractions, look, the numerators are the same. This is 3 and this is 8. When the numerators are the same, we just look at the unit fraction. So it'd be saying like 1/4 and 1/8. Which is bigger, 1/4 or 1/8? I hope you're yelling 1/4. And if you are, you're absolutely right. Now, if I want to diagram this out, I still can. I would just draw my fraction bar. So this, we're going to pretend this is one whole. That's one whole bar. And then I'll do the other one underneath it, the same size. There's one whole bar. And then this will be Rosa's, and this will be Lucy's. And Rosa's is divided into quarters. So I'm going to divide this into 4. So that's half and half. Half of half, remember? So there's half, half of half. 3/4. So that would be 3/4. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Remember, you can go back and look at this video again. I know I'm going a lot faster than some people. And then, and that's fine. You can just review it again if you need to. The next one for Lucy is in eighths. So remember, so this is a whole. So this would be half. And if I go half of these halves, those are quarters, fourths, and then half of those are eighths. And we need 3/8. 1, 2, 3. Now, if we look, 3/8 is a lot smaller than Rosa's, right? It's a lot smaller. So who buys more cheese? We would say Rosa buys more cheese because 3/4 is greater than 3/8. Easy squeezy. Okay, let's look at what Martha's doing here. Oh, Martha baked 8/4 dozen cranberry muffins, and Vera baked 8/6 dozen banana muffins. Who baked fewer muffins? Now look, this one they're going to try chicken. They want fewer. They want to know who has the least amount. Well, if we look, 8/4. See how the 8 is larger than the 4? The numerator is larger than the denominator. When that happens, you have to kind of think, how many times, if I was to divide this, does 8 divide by 4? Does some number times 4 equal 8? Yeah, 2, right? So this would be like saying 2 dozen. And then we got to figure out if 8/6, is that 8 over this? Will 6 divide into 8? How many times does it go in? Well, 6 goes into 8 one time, right? So that'd be 6 divided by 6. And then I have 6, 7, 8. I have 2 left over. Well, let's do it this way. If that doesn't quite work for you, we can do it like a number line too. So I know the first one, this would be 0. And this is going to divide into fourths, and we have 8/4. So if I were to go 1, would be 4/4, right? And then this, if this is 4/4, if this is where 1 is, this is where 2 is, that's where 8/4 would be. So this is where Martha is right there on the number line. Now the next one, we're going to divide it into sixths. So where 1 is, this would be 6/6, right? And then this would be, so what number divided by, if this is 6/6 is 1, 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus, or 6 plus 6 is 12. So this would be 12/6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Okay. So now if we take this, we divide it into sixths. I know if I go from here, those are thirds, and then half of the thirds would be a sixth. So this is 6/6, 7/6, 8/6 would be there. So who's farther? Who has more? Yeah, this one's more. 8/4. Martha. Martha has more. So who has fewer muffins though? Vera. So we'd say Vera has fewer muffins because 8/6 is less than 8/4. Cool. All right. Let's continue. Lester walks 3/4 of a mile to school. Bert said that he walks farther because he walks 6/8 of a mile to school. Is his statement correct? Well, let's see. Here's Lester and Bert. We're going to compare their walking here. So I'm going to make kind of like a comparison, 2 comparison bars. I'm going to stack one on top of the other. Lester, Bert. So Lester, we're going to divide it into quarters, into fourths. So that would be half. Half of half, that's 1. So then half of this half is 4. So he does 3/4. 1, 2, 3/4 of a mile. So that would be 3/4. Bert says he walks 6/8. So remember, so let's start with, let's get this into eighths. So that's half. Remember, these are quarters. Half of the quarters are going to be 8. So we're going to do each section in half. This is 1/8, 2, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. What do you notice? Oh, they're the same. So is Bert right? No. 3/4 is equal to 6/8. Or 6/8, they're equivalent. Yeah, they're equivalent fractions. Oh, that was pretty sneaky. Okay, so Jack's family has a pickup truck and it weighs 9/4 of a ton. Ruth's family car, so this is Jack, so I'm going to put a J above that. Ruth's family car weighs 9/8 of a ton. This is for Ruth. So which one's heavier? So if we want to compare 9/4 or 9/8, remember if we were to compare these, look, the numerators are the same. They're both 9. So if we just think about it as a unit fraction, if I were to say 1/4 is what to 1/8? Remember? If you're not sure, use your bars that you have. That's what you have them for. So here's 1/4 and here's 1/8. So if we just look at one of them, 1/8 and 1/4, which one's bigger? 1/4. So 1/4, 9/4, it would be Jack. So we'd say Jack truck is heavier because 9/4 is greater than 9/8. Cool. Okay, so Rusty painted 5/6 of a mural for school in the school hallway. He did 5/6 of it. Does he paint more than half of the mural? Explain your answer. So it says, find the equivalent fractions for half. Okay, so 6, how many 6 does it take for a half, remember? So what I'm really saying is, like, how many 6 do we need to equal 1/2? So remember we talked about if there's 6 pieces, what's half of 6? 3. So 3/6 is half. If he painted 5/6, is that more or less? Yeah, it's more. So did he paint at least half? Yes. He painted more than half because 5/6 is greater than 1/2. Yeah, 5/6 is greater than 1/2. Okay, big kids, backside, I'm gonna have you guys rock these 4 on your own. Remember, be careful. They're gonna try to trick you. Don't let them trick you. Once you're done with this, you will rock out your homework and your remembering. I might have some good news. Well, I don't know if it's good news. I just have some news. Monday, the 4th, is Memorial Day. And because it's a holiday, I'm not assigning anything. We're not going to assign anything for you at all for Monday. So if you would like to spend some more time on this, if you need extra time on this, you could spill over if you need to. If you finish this, then you'll have Monday off and you can enjoy that time with your family and you can talk about why Memorial Day is important with them and because it is a very important holiday. And so you guys can do that. But if you need a little extra time, that'll give you some extra time if you need it. Okay? Okay, cool. I'll see you later. Bye.